Okay, we're with John C. Hayden, one of the co-organizers of PodcampNYC. First question, how you holding up?
Pretty good. My kids were up and sick last night, so I got 2.5 hours of sleep. I'm tired, but really good.
And how is it compared to what you expected?
I'm delighted. I mean, you know, we had 1,300 people sign up. We don't know yet how many people actually came. But what I'm really excited about is that even though the numbers were larger than other podcasts, to me, at least, the feeling of community and conviviality, you know, you tell me, it seems like people are really having a nice, warm time, and it's not sort of like a traditional, you know, I don't know anybody, I'm just going to go to my sessions and that. It seems really warm.
That's been my sense so far. How do you involve the commercial entities with maintaining that unconference feel?
Great question. Well, a lot of folks, I mean, like Rita Janet, who's speaking right now, and there's a guy named Jay Broadstein from NPR who's speaking next. I just admire their work. So for me, for the PodcampNYC team, you know, we wanted to have a vision where we invited people who have been storytellers to either present or to sponsor, to the fact that they may be from the traditional media marketplace, that may come from a corporate standpoint. You know, just the same way we want to break down a hierarchy between titles. For me, I also don't want to automatically say if somebody is monetizing in a huge way or if they come from a traditional marketplace, that for some reason their thoughts aren't as valuable to where new media is going as well. So by and large, it was just saying, hey, I love your work. Would you want to come and speak? And even though they aren't doing the specific podcast thing, you know, put their name on the wiki, just because they didn't know about it. So the fact that we were telling them about it. Anyway, so then it was a great way to get to find out about the event. And there's a guy named Bill Sobel. He's over here if you want to interview someone wonderful. Bill is kind of like the traditional media Chris Brogan. So I met him, and he's extremely good. That's Shelley Palmer, who's doing a panel at 3. He just introduced us. They've had a passion for the idea, and they would introduce us to their friends at NBC or whatever. And you know, and about a month ago, we kind of hit this great watershed where our numbers just went from 500 or 600 to 800. So.
Speaking of where things are going, we were talking to Jason earlier about next year's podcast, and of course we've got to do it. How do you think podcasting and new media will be different by that?
Great question. I think, for me, at least, a lot of the issues are about content. At the end of the day, whether it's podcasting or streaming, those are the delivery mechanisms. And people have preferences. They like downloading on MP3s, they like to carry it with them work. Other people stream online. So I think for me, next year, a lot of us who are content creators are going to be continuing to talk about how to effectively monetize. And, you know, remember that monetization sometimes gets, you know, this evil, dirty feel to it, when really it also means that you want to reach more listeners, even if you're not monetizing. How do you create content consistently that's done well that will make people want to stick with your show? So I think by next year, a lot of the technology issues, it's not that they're going to go away, but as more and more players become uniform online, as more and more devices kind of become, you know, unified to make it easier for Mac PC combination. I think a lot of this is going to keep going back to content.
I just want to check in with our online listeners if you guys have any questions for John.
The same question I had for earlier was, what was the biggest surprise in terms of from an organizer's point of view with regards to PodCamp?
What was the biggest problem from the organizing perspective?
Or surprise?
Good question. Well, I'd say initially getting the word out, and you know, people from especially the corporate side of things who don't get podcasting, and also our PodcampNYC has, you know, video elements and blogging, not just podcasting. So a lot of it, the first phase is sort of a general PR idea, you know, letting people know what it was about, and then initially with sponsorship. You know, the hotel here, our budget was about $20,000. We're almost at it. If we sell all of our T-shirts, we'll be even. But you know, that's also a lot of work to get sponsors to, you know, want to invest.
Well, thank you very much, John, for talking to us and for everything you've been putting it together.
Well, thank you.
We'll see you next year.
Thanks. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.